Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I wanted to talk about a subject where you've kind of heard people debate it. Do companies use external email lists anymore? And I've been to several trade shows where they'll say, no, you don't need external email lists. And I'm here to say, yes, if you're in a specific industry sector and you've got a time sensitive offer, an external email list can help you reach the right people. But the reason why I want to talk about this today is because I have seen a huge increase in the demand for email lists, external email lists. And I finally asked one of the prospects, I had a customer, really it was a customer, who I worked with years ago, and they stopped working with us because they were using more of a B2B data platform to grab their information and promote to those people. And she came back asking me for an inquiry this week. And I said, I'm curious, how did the platforms go? How can I help you if you're using? She goes, to be honest, a lot of those platforms were giving us email addresses that weren't valid. So she said it was a waste of our time and our effort trying to dig through, put together the right list, only to then download it and lose more than half of the list because they weren't valid emails. I said, oh, that's interesting. So let me talk about email lists. And I just want to set one thing straight. There's two types of email lists. You have response email lists and you have compiled email lists. Now, response email list means that the individual responded to an offer. They subscribed to a magazine, or they signed up to attend a conference, or they signed up for a webinar. The person took some initiative to respond. Those vendors have also asked, after you respond, is it okay if we send you third-party messages? And the person had to opt into those messages. Compiled, on the other hand, and don't get me wrong, there are some great compilers out there, but you really have to know what you're looking for. There are tons of compilers out there. A lot of them are whitelisting the same data, and they don't keep their data to the highest standard. So you have to know which compilers to go to. So there's a difference there because those compiled lists, the reason why you have to dig deep into those is they're just gathering information. They could be harvesting it off the internet. They're scraping it off various sources to put together a list of whatever your target audience might be. That's why the response side, if you've got a very intricate business-to-business offer, a response email list can help save you a lot of steps. Because think about it. If you go to a publication like Bioprocess International, okay, we've already eliminated all the people who aren't in the biopharmaceutical space. So that's good. We're already pinpointing it down. But then within that list, you can maybe pick lab directors or a chief scientist. So now you've pinned it down even closer to a title. And then you can even go deeper into what technologies they use. So you get to whittle down the list to that specific target audience that you're looking for. And that's why external email lists are so good. And there's two reasons I always like to say is, one, it gives you the opportunity to test different segments. Not that you spend all this time developing an in-house email list to find out these people aren't even interested in what you have to offer. Going to the response list now saves you time because they have the list. Now you can take all your energy and put it towards creating a marketing message that will really resonate with that individual. It will speak to that individual. And I always say that offer value, offer some kind of educational piece of information that will be of value to them. Because if they see that you really know your stuff and that you can help them succeed, they're going to take that next step. So 2 good reasons to use an external email list is 1, it gives you the opportunity to test different segments. And 2, it saves you the time that you then can concentrate on creating and implementing it. One thing I want to caution though, I recommend it, I mentioned that there's 2 types of email lists. My caution is whatever email list you use, you've got to research. You've got to make sure that they are compliant with all regulations all over the world. CAN-SPAM compliant, GDPR compliant. They've got to be compliant. And you always want it so that the individual did opt in to getting third-party messages. The last thing you want to do is to spend money on an external email list only for someone on the list who did not opt in to complain, and then a complaint gets put about your brand. You don't want to tarnish your reputation as you go out there to use an email list. You're trying to enhance the reputation of your brand. So using external email lists are a great way to market your specific product or service to a specific niche audience. You've got to go out, you've got to find lists that have a history of performing. How do you do that? You got to align yourself with an agency or a list broker who has worked with tons of vendors so that they know which lists work. Because like I said, we've got a ton of compiled lists out there under different names. You also have lots of publishers. You can go and talk to them about their subscription lists, whether they would let you send an email to them. And you've got conference companies. But some of them don't do their due diligence. They don't do their due diligence in keeping their files cleaned and updated. You also have to know the history behind publishers. Are these their publications? Did they just buy the publications? What do they do to verify their subscribers? How do people become subscribers? And the same sort of questions hold true on the conference side. How do people become attendees? Do they get to attend for free? Or do they have to pay? You find a conference list where someone is paying a large sum of money to attend that conference, you can guarantee that the information they gave about themselves is accurate. Me, myself, I am going to, 3 or 4 conferences in May, and I've paid for them. So when I had to go through the card about what is my job responsibility, what is my title, what industry I'm in, what am I interested in finding out at the show, what equipment do I use or technology do I use? Yes, I filled it out accurately because I want the right vendors to be contacting me. And that's what you have to look into. And yes, it takes a lot of legwork, and it's harder than if you just went to any kind of data platform and quickly found people and then, integrated it into your CRM system. But what you're going to get here is after you've done your research and you found a good, viable source, if they meet your target audience, you're going to find your sales team gets to, I always say, skip 5 steps, because now they know they actually got the person they need to talk to. They know what that individual is looking for, and they can start right away by offering them value. And if they do that right off the bat, the person, yes, is going to want to listen. The person, yes, is going to sign up for that webinar. And hopefully that is when you can take them and nurture them through to be customers. Then, of course, don't forget, once they do become a customer and you have your own in-house email list, you have to do the same thing. You have to keep that cleaned and updated. You have to keep that appended with all the information that you can possibly find out about the individual, because this is how you'll be able to send that individual information that's appropriate for them. You'll start to build that relationship that instills trust, because they'll be like, oh my gosh, yes, they get me. And if you can help them, they're going to want to stay with you as customers year after year. So don't shy away. Jump in. Go and start to use some good external email lists. I think you're going to be quite surprised at the response you get when you find those good quality lists that reach your specific audience. In the meantime, if you have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out to me at dpeterson, Peterson, @worldinnovators.com. Or also you can look at our World Innovators YouTube channel. We are constantly posting videos that hopefully will help you succeed in getting the best marketing results. Have a great day, and I hopefully will talk to you soon. Bye.